Welcome to Believe, the Conspiracy Theory Podcast. I'm Phil Green.
And I'm David Ferguson.
This is a podcast all about the world's craziest conspiracy theories, and this is episode 23, and it is our season finale! Woo! And our first ever live recorded episode. Well, not this is the bit we did in the studio before the actual live episode. Yes. We'll tell you about that in a minute. Anyway, we are taking a break for a few weeks while we record episodes for season 2, and season 2 is going to be pretty mental, isn't it?
It's crazy. Some of the conspiracy theories we're doing, some of the guests that we have on. The reason that it's season 2 is when we started this show, we didn't think we were ready for it, and now we're going into this crazy stuff.
Yeah, if you think that this season was batshit, wait until you see what we've got in store for you. It's going to be amazing. So we will be back a little bit later on in the summer with that season, so do stay with us. And if you want to keep in contact with us, we will be posting regular updates on the conspiracies that we've been talking about and the conspiracies that we will be talking about via our social media channels, which are TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. You can follow us there. Get in contact with us there. Let us know what conspiracy theories you want us to talk about. Let us know if you've got any inside scoop on any conspiracy theory. Have you seen Bigfoot? Have you seen Nessie? Let us know. Yeah, the handle is at believeconspiracypod, and that's absolutely right. We want to know what conspiracies you want us to talk about. We have a whole list for season 2, but we are still adding to that list, and there are some episodes later on in that season that we don't have an idea for yet, and we would love to hear from you about what you would like us to cover, because that's the whole point of this, isn't it?
Yes, we are pliable. We will do what you want us to do.
Absolutely. And if you want to see us still between now and season 2, you can. We are doing some live shows. I am doing the final date of my tour of 4 Weddings and a Breakdown, my 2023 show.
Such a good show.
Thank you very much. It's going to be in Poole on the 1st of June. And I would love to, it's selling very well, but if you do live around that area and you'd like to come along, there are some tickets available. Please still come. It would be lovely to sell that one out. And we're also doing some work in progress shows, aren't we?
We are. I'm bringing my work in progress show, Trivial Pursuit, to the Camden Fringe, and I'm doing 2 dates there, the 2nd of August and the 5th of August. But the 2nd of August is really, really special because
on the 2nd of August, I will be doing the show before that. It's an Aces and Eights in Camden, so come and see the doubleheader if you like. Tickets are very cheap because it's a work in progress show. If you go into the show notes for any of our episodes, you'll find a link there. You'll be able to buy tickets. Come along. It would be amazing to see you.
We'd love it.
Yes,
we'd love it.
We really would. Now, this, as we said before, is our first ever live episode. We recorded this episode at Big Belly Comedy Club on London's South Bank to a lovely little audience, and we had a wonderful guest, didn't we?
Oh, we did. We had the sublime, the gorgeous, the ethereal, the hilarious Alex Haddow.
Absolutely. So, let's get on with it.
Yeah.
Get out of the rabbit hole.
It's a fake. Every single bird in the sky is a robot.
It's fiction.
Doubt your government.
It's an urban legend.
Like, if they're actually spraying something in the sky?
No way.
A stream of absurdity.
It's a total fabrication.
Welcome to the first ever live recording of Believe, the Conspiracy Theory Podcast! Thank you so much for coming down. This is our first ever live recording of the podcast, as you can probably tell by the technical issues. So the premise of this podcast is, this is a podcast about the world's craziest conspiracy theories. And in each episode, we bring on a guest comedian. That comedian picks a conspiracy that they want to talk about. It might be a conspiracy theory they believe. It might be a conspiracy theory they don't believe. Or it might just be a conspiracy theory they think is completely batshit. And they want 2 people who've got a lot of time on their hands and nothing to do on a Tuesday lunchtime that can answer those questions for them. And that is
us.
That's us. That's what we are here to do. Because we've got facts on that we found from the internet and what's inside your head.
My big old Irish head.
Yeah. And we tried to work out whether we can prove it, debunk it, or...
Well, no, I reveal the truth. I believe that's what...
Yeah, because you like to believe.
I absolutely believe. I see things for what they actually are.
Yes, and I live in the darkness. I like to have my eyes closed. So, but the guests may believe or they may not believe, and that's what we're trying to find out. And we want to know what you think as well at the end of the episode. Now, we should give a big shout out to our tech.
Yes, we should, but we're not gonna.
We're not gonna today. Who the fuck is our tech today, Brian? It's all three, Brian, Mooch, and George! Yay! Who finally got this up and running.
20 minutes in.
And who is our wonderful guest today?
Our wonderful guest is a great comedian, Dion of fashion, and just another babe. It's the wonderful Alex Haddow!
Wonderful Alex Haddow. Alex is a fantastic comedian. Oh, I haven't done the intro yet. Alex is a fantastic comedian and columnist. If you come to this club regularly, you'll have already seen her on stage. She's a regular here. She had a sold-out debut at the Edinburgh Fringe last year. She's been nominated for the Leicester Comedy Award. She's been on Radio 4. She has a huge social media following, and more importantly, she's here. And what is the conspiracy that Alex has chosen?
The moon doesn't exist.
The moon doesn't exist. So please get up for Alex Haddow! Nothing if not professional, is it?
I prematurely came there. I'm so sorry.
So
but I'm here now.
You are here now. Sorry we made you, mate. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
you
well.
Legged it across town for this?
I legged it across from an office not far away who think I'm just nipped to Pret.
Yeah. Pret has changed.
Pret has changed. I was going on about how hungry I was and I'm going to get back in an hour with lunch. They're going to be like, what were you doing?
And where the fuck is lunch?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm going to be like, I've been learning.
Yeah.
About the moon.
You'll go back and say, I haven't got anything, but I've had my eyes opened.
Exactly.
Yes. So conspiracy theories.
Yes.
How do you feel about conspiracy theories?
I enjoy them. I would say I'm 60-40 cynic with you, but I would say I am 40% with David. A lot of them, I feel like there's probably an element of truth.
Yes.
Like, especially anything to do with the government, I'm like, those bastards probably did it. Do you know what I mean? Like, that sort of thing. I do enjoy a celebrity being secretly dead. I love those ones.
There's a lot of them.
I don't believe them at all, but I love the how insane
Avril
they are.
Lavigne is dead.
Avril Lavigne's definitely dead.
Yeah. I mean, she may as well be with what she's been wearing recently. But anyway, no, but I did actually go on a date with a guy who was a flat earther, and I got a great routine out of it. So I am a fan of conspiracy theories in that sense.
Did you go on a second date with him?
Yes.
You are in the right place.
Yeah.
Okay. So this conspiracy theory is, so the moon doesn't exist. Okay, so the theory that the moon isn't real posits that the celestial body we commonly refer to as the moon is a fabrication or illusion perpetuated by various entities, including governments, space agencies, or other clandestine organizations. Proponents of this theory claim that the moon is either a hologram, a projection, or a simulated object created for nefarious purposes. I had to look up what that meant. It means wicked or villainous. You know that. Or to conceal some profound truth from the general population. Some proponents of the theory point to the alleged inconsistencies or anomalies in photographs of the moon taken by space agencies such as NASA. They claim that these images contain evidence of manipulation of tampering, suggesting that the moon's existence is a fabrication. Another argument posited by believers is the theory that the purported absence of tangible evidence supporting the moon's existence. They may question the reliability of telescopic observations or claim that lunar samples collected during space missions are fraudulent or do not originate from the moon. Many proponents of the moon non-existence theory subscribe to the idea of a vast conspiracy of cover-up orchestrated by governments or other powerful entities. They allege that these organizations are suppressing the truth about the moon's non-existence to maintain control over the populace or conceal some deeper secret. Alex, have you ever had your suspicions about the moon?
No. But now my eyes have been opened by this. I do think it's quite interesting the fact that people genuinely think that the moon has something to do with women's menstrual cycles. And then recently somebody said that was completely untrue, and I had fully believed it for most of my adult life.
Yeah, I thought that was a thing. Is that not a thing? Does anyone else believe that?
It is a thing. Okay, it is a thing. Okay, so the person that told me it wasn't true was like, this is what I mean. We don't know what's real and what isn't.
That is true. An unexamined life is not worth living.
Exactly. Yeah. But now I am panicking. But I still don't know the motivation. I don't really get.
Yeah, I don't understand the motivation. Do you understand why people believe this?
That believe that there is no moon?
Yeah.
Because there's evidence.
Motion carried.
No, there's the moon being a hologram, the lunar wave. So people record the moon on a full moon, and they can see a wave go across it, and it's a visual effect. Yes, and you go on YouTube; these are there. And they have been analysed. It's not just like, well, you had a crappy camera. Although I have to admit that the crappy camera is the friend of the conspiracy theorist. Mm-hmm. But
it's never a good shot of anything, is it? Like it's never a clear shot of something.
No one's ever got an iPhone 12.
Yeah.
No, but the lunar wave is a thing. Look it up. It's you'll go down a rabbit hole and you'll be like, oh, the moon isn't real. It's a projection, and we're in the Matrix, and that's one of them. We're in the Matrix. We're in a simulation.
Because there are a number of videos. If you go on YouTube, there are a number of videos of this, and it is hard to decipher whether they're real or not. But there's quite a strong school of thought that believes this, and it does actually date back quite a long way, doesn't it?
Yes. Well, because there are so many like Native American myths. Is Native American the proper term now? Because I don't want to be incorrect or cancelled. Oh, can you imagine if we got cancelled? He said it live. He's racist.
Our last episode was about Jeffrey Epstein, so it may well be that would have been cancelled before this comes out anyway.
Or dead.
Or dead. Yeah.
So indigenous people from the Americas, they have myths about the moon coming into space. The Greek myths have that as well. The moon wasn't always there, and so this idea that it was created later for nefarious purposes.
Yep.
It's always negative.
Wicked or villainous.
Is always there. Like
Control.
The people that control us, they're in the moon. The aliens are in the moon.
Well, there's a couple of theories. So there is the theory that aliens live in it. There's also the theory that it's a hologram, right? So this has been a long-held theory since the 70s. But what kicked off in recent years was YouTuber and moon truther. That's what they're called.
Moon truther. Moon truther sounds like code for a flasher.
C Crow 777, you might know him. He claimed we could very possibly be staring up at a hologram rather than a rocky satellite 240,000 miles away from Earth. In 2012, he said that after a year of observing the moon through high-definition telescopic cameras, he captured a lunar wave crossing it, which is what you were talking about. This, he said, could be evidence that the moon is not what we think it is, suggesting shady forces could be using a facade to hide secretive activities happening on the surface. His controversial theories have been rebuked by the scientific community, but he's argued that he has done multiple tests on this footage, which proves the glitch happens only on the moon and not the rest of the frame. So it's like, if you've ever seen like an old VHS, and you know when like sometimes it's like an old cassette and like a line would go up the screen. That's what it looks like, isn't it? Yes. But when it does that, the moon contours kind of change as it goes up, don't they?
But it's just the moon. It's not the around. So it's not like an artifact of the recording.
Yeah, it's only on the moon. It's not like the surrounding bit.
But where are they projecting this hologram from?
Well, that's a good question. Because I thought when I first read this that somebody's projecting it like onto something in the sky. It's not. It's being projected from the inside out.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is far more believable, right?
Like a kind of Death Star. Huh?
Yes.
Of light.
On that note, the Star Wars was George Lucas, who's an insider, which means he knows the truth. He was projecting all that. He was telling us about the Death Star and the Force and all that. Like, he was telling us secret information.
The Death Star is kind of, it is sort of based on that theory, isn't it?
Yes.
But it looks like the moon, and it's even got that sort of crater, hasn't it, in the Death Star?
Yeah. He's got no new ideas. In a blog, he wrote, "The simple truth is that the moon is not what you've been told it is, and almost everything you have been shown regarding the moon is stagecraft and deception." He said, "I made this announcement knowing full well the trouble that would follow, but I did it anyway because it is true and affects every living being on the planet." The YouTube video showing the weird lunar wave still triggers debate to this day and has inspired others to reveal they think there is something not quite right about the Earth's closest galactic neighbour. "My guess is it's not just a rock in space. There is a lot going on up there. It's clear to me we live in an artificial system." So there is a theory that the whole of the universe is actually a hologram, right? Or it is a projection. This is just part of it.
God, no wonder the rates are going up. Imagine the energy it must cost to project the universe.
See, if it is actually like a hologram, I want it to be like a hologram. You know, Gem and the Holograms. You know, Showtime synergy. Does anyone remember that? So I realize there's young people in the audience. So Gem was an icon from the 80s, and she had holographic earrings that transformed everything that she wore, and she sung beautifully. Think Taylor Swift, but with talent. And no, I'm joking.
No, I'm so with you. I don't get it.
You didn't think this episode was going to go there, did you? But it did. Yes, it does.
Anybody else like Gem, or is it just me?
One.
Gem. Truly outrageous.
Gem
truly
and the Holograms.
Truly outrageous. Yeah. No, okay. Not the movie. The movie's so bad. Don't watch the movie. No, not the live action movie. It's terrible.
So he said, "If you look at moon maps, no two ever match up. I've come to believe it is an illusion and part of a control system we live in. When pressed on things such as lunar eclipses, which are filmed all over the world, he maintained they are all faked. Every single one of them." He said, "It's all staged. There are hundreds of objects that transit the moon during an eclipse. There is a control system behind the moon, and it is something to do with the sun. It is a system that we've been told about, is this a system that we've been told about, or is it another system?" I began to state that the moon we see may be a hologram, which I later updated to refer to it as a facade that seems to be hiding something. It is reported that after posting the footage, Crow777 was contacted by 3 individuals who claimed to have been in positions that they were meant to knew that meant they knew more than the general public, and the moon was indeed a hologram. None of the whistleblowers would speak on record for fear of repercussions. From who? NASA?
So this is one of those conspiracy theories. I'm like, well, because I've watched the videos, I've watched the the lunar wave, and I encourage you to as well. However, come on.
Yeah.
Although the idea that that Earth is a prison planet and the wardens are in the moon. Have you heard about this? The reason we haven't encountered aliens is because we're in a zoo sectioned off from the rest of the universe.
That's interesting.
We're and our wardens are in the moon.
Oh, we cover this in the Matrix episode. Well, we're like a giant version of The Sims to them.
Yes. And and so long as I can be thin, I'm happy with that. I'm not thin.
Whoever's controlling my sim, can I have some money, please?
just lots of it.
Yeah.
He then discovered research by Russian scientists who speculated the moon could be a huge artificial space station and the whole solar system could be fake. However, this material has proved hard to verify. It genuinely says that. So there is a hollow moon theory as well, isn't there? And to be honest, this is all kind of hollow moon because, like I said, it's sort of projecting from the inside out.
Yes.
And there is a theory that it may be a spaceship.
Yeah.
Or
an egg, if you've watched Doctor Who, which was a TV show that was very popular at one point.
An egg?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like a dragon came out of it. The Peter Capaldi episodes, it was a while ago.
I like him though. Anyway, sorry, I'm digressing.
No, it's all right. What, like the soup dragon?
Yes.
That's a really dated reference. You get that, right?
I referenced Gem from the 80s. Like, no one knew what we were talking about. And I thought that we were all the same age.
If you're old enough to remember the clangers, that's what we're talking about. If you aren't, that means nothing. So hollow moon. The hollow moon and the closely related spaceship moon are pseudoscientific hypotheses that propose that the Earth's moon is either wholly hollow or otherwise contains a substantial interior space. Overall, it is much less dense than the Earth, only 60% as dense. The spaceship moon theory, also known as the Vasin-Sherbakov theory, is a hypothesis that claims the Earth's moon may actually be an alien spacecraft. The hypothesis was put forward by 2 members of the then Soviet Academy of Scientists, Michael Vasin and Alexander Sherbakov, in July 1970, in a July 1970 article entitled "The Moon is the Creation of Alien Intelligence." Vaskin and Sherbakov's thesis was that the moon is a hollowed-out planetoid created by unknown beings with technology far superior to any on Earth. Huge machines would have been used to melt rock, form large cavities within the moon, with the resulting molten lava spewing out onto the moon's surface. The moon would therefore consist of a hull-like interior shell and an outer shell made from metallic rocky slag. For reasons unknown,
Slag.
I knew you'd react to that.
The moon's a slag.
The moon's a slag. I've always said that.
You have.
Look, it's never got any clothes on.
That's very true. Comes out at night.
Yeah, it does. For reasons unknown, the spaceship moon was then placed into orbit around the Earth. Their hypothesis relies heavily on the suggestion that large lunar craters, generally assumed to be formed from meteor impact, are generally too shallow and have flat or even convex bottoms. Small craters have a depth proportional to their diameter, but large craters are not deeper. It is hypothesized that small meteors are making a cup-shaped depression in the rocky surface of the moon, while the larger meteors are drilling through a 5-mile thick rocky layer and hitting a high tensile hull underneath. Additionally, the authors note that the surface material of the moon is substantially composed of different elements from the surface of the Earth. They also note that some moon rocks are older than the oldest rocks on Earth. They postulate that the moon comprises of a rocky outer layer a few miles thick, covering a strong hull, perhaps 20 miles thick, and beneath that there is a void, possibly containing an atmosphere.
It's a lot to take in,
Isn't it?
Did everybody write that down?
Yeah.
You got all that. Okay.
Do you know, I think of the phrase, do you want the boring truth or an interesting lie?
Yeah.
And I want the interesting lie.
Yeah.
I want to believe that somebody's living in the moon and that we are a big old prison and that's why we've really fucked it up down here, you know.
Yeah, we're not doing the things that they're going to let us out for.
Yeah.
You don't get to see the rest of the universe. Look what you're doing.
Yeah. You've ruined it. This is why we can't have nice things. You know?
There is an interesting thing about the moon being artificial. So it was the Soviets. It's the same thing that you get out. I won't try to pronounce it. But they sent they hit the moon with a torpedo or a missile, even, because torpedoes in water, and the moon vibrated for 7 hours. And the whole moon vibrated for 7 hours, and it shouldn't have done that. The only way it would have done that is if it was hollow. So there is scientific evidence to suggest that the moon is actually hollow.
Yeah.
Perhaps it is hollow, but naturally. No?
Like myself. There is nothing inside here. Oh wait, Ryan.
If it is hollow, who do we think is living in it?
Oh, Nazis, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a genuine theory that Nazis are living on the moon.
That's I purposely, so David said you can either research everything or nothing, and I thought I'll do a bit, and I heard Nazis living on the other side of the moon.
It's one of the top searches.
And the hollow moon theory.
Yeah.
And obviously the fake moon landing, which when you look into it, does sort of persuade you a
Kubrick
bit.
filmed that. No, it's not real. Not real.
Yeah,
I'm not saying humanity didn't go to the moon, but the footage we see is not real.
I see. Yeah, that's my.
So presumably,
I'm not saying I believe it, but I'm saying like that is sort of plausible. As in, I think we went to the moon.
I think we went to the moon as well. I just don't think we have the footage of it.
Yeah.
And Kubrick was involved.
Mm-hmm. That's why they killed him.
Do we think that NASA sent people to the moon knowing this, or do you think they sent people to the moon and then discovered it was hollow?
Well, if you listen to the it's not transcript, but the audio of the astronauts on the moon talking back to NASA, there's loads of coded comments, including mentioning Father Christmas. I'm not saying they found Father Christmas up there, although that would make sense.
Much warmer than the North Pole.
Right. You know, and he gets to see what everyone's doing, right? You know, like
Father Christmas and Hitler.
Yeah, Father. Yeah. You know, Father Christmas.
The Christmas film we all want.
Oh my God, it's like Die Hard, but better. No, so there was lots of codes and whatever. So, like, there's a reason we haven't been back to the moon, and it's not fiscal. Something happened. Something went, we can't do that. And both India and China have tried to go up to the moon. And
aren't China still planning to go to the moon?
Yeah, and it's not happening.
Yeah, why has no one else been?
Because the aliens have told us not to go there.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
We went 5 times. I say we. NASA we did nothing. People went 5 times.
Did they? But there's only footage of the first one.
No, I think it's footage of all of them.
Yeah, well, Kubrick wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
Well, because there was a thing, because we did cover in one of our earlier episodes the moon landings being a hoax, and there is a theory that the first moon landing was faked, but the subsequent ones were actual real landings, and that's where we got the moon rocks from. But because they were in a space race with the Russians. They faked it to say, we won. And the Russians went, we won't bother then. And then they sent up following missions.
So
okay.
That's what I think.
And they went, fuck, this thing's hollow.
Faking it and winning is an alien concept, isn't it?
Well, I fake it all the time. Anyway, what's really interesting is we normally just do this in a studio, but we can see your faces. And I feel like I need mental help. It is beautiful to see. You're all so beautifully dressed.
I know, very chic for a Tuesday lunchtime.
Yes, like what you know.
It's a very sophisticated podcast.
I
I
believe you're dressed up for us.
Yeah.
A lot of chic blazers and espresso
This
martini.
means nothing to the people listening on audio.
The audience
chic.
are beautiful, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, very chic audience.
Very chic and.
So the moon. So we're talking about the vibrations of the moon. So the theory is actually called the moon rang like a bell, right? So the vibrations. So between 1969 and 1977, seismometers.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Installed on the moon by the Apollo missions recorded moon quakes. The moon was described as ringing like a bell during some of these quakes, specifically the shallow ones. This phrase was brought to popular attention in March 1970 in an article in Popular Science. On November 20th, 1969, Apollo 12 deliberately crashed the ascent stage of its lunar module onto the moon's surface. NASA reported that the moon rang like a bell for almost an hour, leading to arguments that it must be hollow like a bell. Lunar seismology experiments since then have shown that the lunar body has shallow moonquakes that act differently from quakes on Earth due to differences in texture, type, and density of the planetary strata. But there is no evidence of any large empty space inside the body. But if it's 5 miles thick, they're not going to get through it anyway, are they?
No, well.
How many miles across is the moon altogether?
Yeah, you'd think we would have researched that, wouldn't you? We'll edit that out.
It's 400 times smaller than the sun. Or yes, that's it.
Than the sun, or that makes sense.
I might have that completely wrong.
Or is it 400 times smaller than Earth?
I don't think it's that much smaller than Earth.
It's 4 times the size of the Pacific Ocean.
Do you know?
But isn't the moon part of the Earth?
Yes.
Yes.
So it can't be bigger than the Earth.
It's because it's part of.
A bit of the Earth came off.
A bit of the Earth came off and didn't
Great
make it
impact
into the
theory.
stratosphere.
Yeah.
Stratosphere.
Yeah, it's the child of the Earth. Yeah. Well, there was a major catastrophe in ancient ancient history, not history because the Earth hadn't formed yet, but while the Earth was forming, the same thing that created the asteroid belt, because we believe that was a planet that exploded. And that's why there's the asteroid belt, because the asteroid belt's actually kind of unusual. That also impacted Earth and probably knocked Venus out of its orbit, because Venus goes the opposite direction of all the other planets on the elliptical. And it's actually
Really?
slightly off. Yeah, Venus goes the other way. So the
Typical woman.
she goes her own way, and she's fabulous. Well, there's also the talk that Venus was the son of Earth for a while. Anyway, as in the celestial body. Anyway, all the stuff from a proto-Earth was cast into the moon, because the moon is so much bigger than everyone else's satellites in proportion. I can see you're all riveted. All I'm saying is the moon's kind of big,
There's something. There is. I'm not a spiritual person, but I like to like I was saying. I like to believe stuff. I like to ingratiate myself. I like to submerge myself into theories and ideas. But there is something about when the moon is huge, in the sky, that makes you feel. I mean, obviously the word lunatic comes from lunar, right? So there is something connective about the moon, and maybe that's because someone's looking at us from it.
Oh, that's what that sense is. We're being watched. Oh, I quite like that.
Horny, yeah.
Because obviously I like being looked at.
So if it is an alien race living inside the moon, they must have been here first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they formed. We've talked about the Anunnaki.
Oh, sorry. Are these the people?
Yeah, the aliens came down and made us.
Oh, and they're called the
Anunnaki.
Anunnaki.
That's what they're given the name. Aliens came down and genetically engineered the human race.
Oh God, they could have spent a bit longer. Couldn't they?
We were a slave race. If you look at our DNA, it's kind of mushed up. If you look at all our genetic defects of all the races on the planet, all the different species, humanity has an unbelievable amount of genetic defects. And that's not me shaming anybody with disabilities. Where I'm a homosexual, I'm a defect. But we wonder where that comes from. That's unusual.
Oh.
So,
It must be fucking great inside that moon. Like, if they're not here, they're there.
You're fully submerged. You're fully in.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, we're so entertaining.
Yeah. Have they got podcasts? Mooncasts?
Mooncasts.
Yes.
Like that. So, perfect solar eclipses. In 1965, author Isaac Asimov observed what makes a total eclipse so remarkable is the sheer astronomical accident that the moon fits so snugly over the sun. The moon is just large enough to cover the sun completely at times, so that a temporary night falls and the stars are out. The sun's greater distance makes up for its greater size, and the result is that the moon and the sun appear to be equal in size. There is no astronomical reason why the sun and the moon should fit so well. It is the sheerest of coincidence, and only the Earth among the planets is blessed in this fashion. This is one of the primary reasons why people believe that the moon doesn't exist, isn't it? It is the way that the planets perfectly align for an eclipse.
It all fits too well.
Said that before.
Since the 1970s, conspiracy theorists have cited Asimov's observations on solar eclipses as evidence of the moon's artificiality. Mainstream astronomers reject this interpretation. They note that the angular diameters of the sun and the moon vary by several % over time and do not actually perfectly match during eclipses. Nor is the Earth the only planet with such a satellite. Saturn's moon, Prometheus, has roughly the same angular diameter as the sun when viewed from Saturn. Some scholars have claimed that the conditions required for the perfect solar eclipses are the same conditions generally acknowledged to be necessary for intelligent life to emerge. If so, the moon's size and orbit might be best explained by the weak anthropic principle, which I do not have information on.
We need the moon to be
but
like that.
you all know that.
We need the moon to be like that in order for life to originate.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, but it needs to be a protection because the universe is actually quite... Like the moon saves us from a lot of meteorites and stuff. I mean, we've all seen Armageddon.
Yeah,
Deep
of
Impact.
course.
Yeah.
It's a documentary.
Yeah. I love
I
the...
prefer Deep Impact, even though Armageddon has Bruce Willis.
Controversial.
Yeah. Doesn't more shit get destroyed in Deep Impact?
I think Deep Impact is better as well. Yeah.
Morgan Freeman's in it for a start.
And it's a little bit more not realistic, but like it's a little bit less cheesy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Than Armageddon.
Yeah.
Not as good a soundtrack, though.
Not as good as soundtrack.
Fair.
Oh, that song. Do you know what we're referencing? I'm so worried that like
They're nodding for the
nodding,
benefit of the
they're
audio.
For the tape.
I'm suddenly very aware that this all's just coming out of my head, and it makes sense to me. I know what I'm talking about. Like, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
So, the moon origin theories. Prior to the Apollo mission research, there were three theories about how the moon formed. The evidence returned from these missions gave us today's most widely accepted theory. So, the capture theory suggests the moon was a wandering body, like an asteroid, that formed elsewhere in the solar system and was captured by Earth's gravity as it passed nearby. The acceleration hypothesis proposes that the moon was created along with the Earth at its formation. The fusion theory suggests Earth had been spinning so fast that some material broke away and began to orbit the planet. And the giant impact theory, which is sometimes called the Big Splash or the Theia impact, is that right? Is the most widely accepted today. This proposes that the moon formed during a collision between Earth and another small planet about the size of the planet Mars. The debris from this impact collected in orbit around the Earth to form the moon. What do you think? It's not as much fun.
But I am a great impact person because I like the idea that there was where did the asteroid belt come from, and it's all very weird. Like like we don't know everything that's happened. Amazingly, that's the thesis of the show. We don't know everything that's happened. but I like that idea of something impacted the Earth greatly, and that's maybe that's why panspermia happened here. Or
What's that?
So it's the idea that life goes from planet to planet.
Oh, right.
So from asteroids and because there's rocks from Mars on Earth. I don't know quite how that works, but it is.
Yeah, but that makes sense, right? Yeah, of course.
So and I just like saying spermia.
Someone jizzed on a rock and now we're all here.
Do we think there's a possibility that even if it broke off, it could still be hollow?
Oh yeah. Like
Okay.
I believe all this. This is all true.
Yeah.
I see, like I'm a comic book reader, so like everything's true. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jesus is the one true savior, but also Zeus and Thor are there. You know what I mean? Like it's all possibilities are true.
The OG lads.
The OG.
With the OG
Yeah.
lads
Yeah.
living on the moon.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
that's where they are.
Maybe it is where they are.
Greece is too hot.
If anyone is living inside the moon, how do they get in or out? Or are they just in there?
Well, there is weird lights.
Is there a door?
There's weird lights on the moon all the time. There's people that talk about crystalline structures on the moon. I mean, this is discussed. I know we're talking about way back. Like in the, it's documented. Like the canals of the moon and stuff have all been documented. So there is an argument that there was water on the moon at one point. I don't believe that there was, but you know what I mean. Like it's all out there.
They've got it all sussed. They've got those 15-minute cities. They don't need to leave.
Yeah.
Everything's within reach.
I love how you're merging conspiracy theories, Alex. That's terrific.
Oh yeah, that was a massive conspiracy theory, wasn't it? Yeah.
See, 40 minutes in our company and you're like, I believe everything now.
Yeah, sorry.
One date with a flat earther.
So sorry.
But don't you? Because the lunar waves suggest that the craters move, right? So, which is suggestion that is the projection is that's where they're sort of getting in and out, and we can't see it because the wave goes over.
Oh,
it, right?
I see. Like a really subliminal ad.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
That's what's
Which
reminding
is
me of.
another conspiracy theory.
Yes, which
covered that.
isn't out of reach, I don't think. But yeah, what's the temperature on the moon? Very cold.
Yeah.
Probably.
-100.
Yeah.
I'm looking at.
You're overestimating how much research we do for this
Yeah.
podcast.
I've said -100, and I'm standing by it, and I haven't said a unit of measurement. It's just -100.
There is a very minor atmosphere on the moon, like there is gas.
Well, it's inside.
Like at my
Yeah.
gigs. There's a minor atmosphere we are detecting.
There's a minor atmosphere here.
If you be,
Is everybody having fun? Or you just going, when is this over?
Having fun. Yeah. The inside of the moon is more. It's more Edinburgh Fringe atmosphere, isn't it?
More Edinburgh Fringe
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's very niche comedy.
It's very niche comedy,
sorry.
yeah.
So sorry. We're comedy wankers. I apologize.
Okay, so the notion that the moon does not exist occupies a particular niche, captivating imaginations while defying empirical evidence. However, a critical examination reveals it is its fallacious nature, undermined by scientific consensus and logistical inconsistencies. The persistence of such theories highlight broader psychological phenomena and underscores the importance of critical thinking and evidence-based reasoning in navigating the complexities of the modern world. As humanity continues to explore the cosmos and unravel the mysteries of the universe, the enduring presence of the moon serves as a testament to our curiosity, ingenuity, and collective pursuit of knowledge. Yeah. So, we'll ask the audience first. Give us a cheer if you think the moon is real. Okay.
Sounds pretty conclusive.
Give us a cheer if you think the moon doesn't exist. All right.
Oh no.
Let's go to you two. Alex?
I want to believe that it doesn't exist because it's more exciting, but I feel like it does. I'm so sorry, David.
Yeah.
It's there. I love looking up at the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do we want it to exist?
Yes, I want it to exist, but I also want there to be aliens inside.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
where I am.
Because I want them to take me away.
Okay, let's ask one more question. Give us a cheer if you'd love the moon to be a spaceship. All right, love it.
Yeah, there we go. Look, there's the middle ground.
Unless Hitler's living in it, in which
There's
case...
the romance of this
Yeah.
episode.
Okay, so we conclusively proved that it is not a projection. All right.
Unless you get Crow 777 on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Well,
He's a great interviewer.
Tell
Yeah,
him I
I've
still
heard of
have
it.
his jacket.
Okay, so Alex, would you like to tell people where they can find you, where they can follow you, all that's what you're doing, all that kind of stuff?
Oh, yes. Oh, hello, camera. Yes. You can find me at Alexandra Haddow on Instagram. And I'm always posting about shows and club nights that I'm doing. Please come. It would be lovely to see you.
Yes. Are you doing any work in progress for the Edinburgh Fringe?
I'm doing loads. Thank you, David. Yes, I am. I'm doing, and then they're all in my link tree, in my bio. I'm doing, London, Manchester, Bristol, Hastings, Isle of Wight. Weirdly, so
Isle of
if any
Wight.
listeners there.
Isle of Wight's a great venue. Place to.
A great venue, Isle of
But, I
Wight.
mean, that's a captive audience.
Yeah,
They can't
the Isle
get
of
off,
Wight
so-
is a venue. That's another conspiracy.
The last gig I did before lockdown happened, and literally they were saying lockdown's happening. We were on the Isle of Wight. I was going, am I going to end up living?
I'm going to live on the Isle of Wight.
Yeah, like we got the last
The last
helicopter.
chopper outside.
It was so creepy. Oh my gosh.
I love that.
If that's when you discover the Isle of Wight is a projection.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, would you guys like a moon joke to end the podcast? Yeah. Quite right too. Okay, what did the astronauts do when they got tired of watching the moon? They called it a day.
Oh, that's
Come
actually
on.
very clever.
Yeah, that's one of the best ones we've had so far. Thank you so much for coming down. Thanks to everyone for listening. We'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Please like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. The more lovely subscribers we get, the more episodes we'll make. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok for regular updates and exclusive videos at BelieveConspiracyPod. We love you. Bye!